Okay. Well, we're at time, so in the interest of sticking to our stated philosophical goal, let's go ahead and get started. So first, we have a couple of vignettes. So let's start with Bartholomew and Alastor before he picked up his um, pseudonym of Gear Falcon. So Bart, it's late at night in the local pub. You've been holding forth with your sycophants, your son Alastor, largely forgotten. But whenever you need, something to make you feel like a little bit affirmed, reach out to him and be like, "Oh yeah, and my son." Um, your your sycophants have gone. The bar is closing down. You are three sheets to the wind and thinking about your legacy and what you need to impart to Alastor about how important it is to have his own ship.
Son, as you can very well see, if a man isn't free, he isn't a man. You must have the means of freedom, and the means of freedom fly.
Fly?
Fly. You sit in the chair, you think weird magical thoughts, and it flies off to freedom. Now, some men think land is the measure of manhood. Some think accomplishments. I say bollocks. It is freedom, and freedom flies. Get yourself a ship, my boy. A ship. A man without a ship is a man without a destiny.
Okay, Daddy, but once I get a ship, then what do I do with the ship?
You get a crew together. You get a crew and they fly the ship. And once you have a crew, here's what you do. You start giving out orders. And eventually they'll start following some of them. And you take credit for the things that go well, and you pass along the things that don't. That's leadership, my boy. That's freedom.
That sounds kind of strange. But
Life is strange.
Okay, that doesn't sound like the way Mom does things.
That's true. It is not the way Mom does things. But men have to be free, and women do their own thing, and it's best not to question them too much, or else you end up in trouble, which is not free.
Okay, so what kind of people do I need for a crew?
You need people who get on your nerves. A
What?
crew that gets on your nerves is going to keep you young, keep you sharp. If they all say yes sir, that's fun in the pub. Let's be fair. But when you're out in the sky, you want somebody who you will wrestle to the ground for the wheel.
Is that why everyone's yelling at you on your ship?
Only when your mother's visiting.
Oh, okay.
But they are getting on my nerves most of the time. That's how you know you've found a good ship.
Okay, Dad, I won't forget.
Conk.
Bart is just like that was just Bart like completely blackout. He will not remember any of that ever. Okay, fantastic. Second vignette. So Sam playing Volwyn, Yumari, and Kara supposed to play Mirror Eyes. I'll go ahead and play Mirror Eyes. So Volwyn, you have just yesterday, Mirror Eyes had your first and only child, your daughter Ratha, you know that Mirais has a curse on her family that the females fall sick and die. Mirais is still doing well, but now you have a 1 day old daughter that you know will also 1 day get sick and die far earlier than elves should do. So Mirais comes to you um, to talk about how should we tell our daughter when she comes of age. So you're in the nursery. Your daughter Ratha is there in the crib, and Mirais is looking over at her and saying, I'm not sure. My mother told me at a very late age, and that allowed me to have many years of joy. And I don't know what we should tell Ratha once she gets older. Volwyn, how do you feel about it?
I'm less inclined to hide the information from her. I want her to be able to enjoy her life, but I worry she would feel betrayed not knowing.
So we should tell her when she can understand. And how do you tell a young child that they're destined to die, especially an elf?
Maybe, it's hard. Perhaps we could seek some advice from our non-elf friends. If we, yeah, I'm not sure they have to explain that to their children. It's just sort of assumed that everyone dies at some point, but that's not exactly the case for us typically.
Well, that reminds me. I know some of my human friends get pets, and then the pets die when the humans are young, and that teaches the young humans about death. So maybe we can get a pet that dies?
That sounds as good a way as any to me. No matter how we go about it, it seems like it's going to be a difficult subject, because how do you explain that to a child? But that seems as good as I can think.
Should we get a puppy or a kitten or a pseudo dragon?
Well, I'm partial to the pseudo dragons, but
They don't live very long. That would help impart the lesson earlier, I think. So we'll go ahead and find us a young pseudo dragon that will be a companion for Ratha for a few years, and then will die young, and that will teach Ratha that death happens to some mortals.
that sounds good. Then at least the understanding is there, and we can find a way to explain the curse to her.
We are agreed then. She goes to the crib and picks up Ratha and nuzzles her. We're gonna get you a pseudo dragon. All right, great vignettes. Thank you guys. Who would like to recap last game?
I can do it.
Sam, great.
So it started with us at the top of, or two of us at the top of the long drop into the giant pit where the beholder was, hauling people up. It was Grikiki and Aezsh trying to, or mostly Grikiki hauling people up, and Aezsh kind of standing there at the top, fending off ghouls. We, through a stressful situation of realizing the beholder is coming back, managed to haul everyone up just in time, while fighting off a couple of ghouls running down the hallway towards us. We book it down the hall, the beholder gets very angry, screams at us, throws some ghouls from it, pulls the ghouls off its little art installation on the wall, and hurls them down the tunnel after us. We decide to just run and get the opportunity to take a rest, which mostly works. A few of us end up getting exhausted, but we make it. We get our short rest, and then we come upon a collapsed cavern with the ship visible far across a bunch of broken rocks and an enormous amount of ghouls throughout the cavern. We decide to take the direct route across the jagged rocks, successfully navigating a skill challenge concluded at the end by a fantastic nat 20 from Kida to help us get there around early, which ended up being instrumental in not taking a bunch of ghouls on board with us. We find the ship in passable shape, although not currently active, though we do end up getting it started by pouring a bunch of spells into the helm and getting the thing up and running again. Belloryn, with a spectacular set of rolls, manages to pilot the thing successfully despite lacking proficiency, and including a brief struggle for the pilot's chair with Gerfalcon. And successfully navigates it away from the giant ghoul that rises up out of the ground. And we killed the ghast that was on board with us that eventually burst out of the side door. We fly it out and fly the ship out of the hole in the center of the roof of the cavern, intent on picking up the Kanks, which we promised the merchant back a while ago that we would get back to him. And we finished off going over a bit of loot, which we have not yet divvied up, and taking a look over the ship, which we have not yet assigned quarters. I believe there was a captain's quarters with a single bed, a pilot's quarters with a single bed, and then crew quarters with 4 hammocks and a galley. And that's, I think, where we left.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Okay, before I forget, Belloryn and Gerfalcon both get a point of inspiration for your actions, arrogance, and your mania to pull this imposter out of the pilot's chair before some rationale kicked in. And Kida, a point of inspiration for the amazing save for Grikiki, sparing her from being just completely swarmed by ghouls and falling under the mob there. Okay, so let's explore the ship. So everybody's on the main deck, or the bridge. So on the bridge there are 4 seats. One of them is very clearly associated with the purple sparkly pylon, which is apparently the spelljamming helm that Belloryn is manning. There are 3 other chairs in here. The exterior of the ship is basically just like blasted wood. You can see where there are maybe some places for metal panels. A couple of metal panels still exist, but most of them are rusted. It's otherwise nondescript. On the inside, it looks like there is a kind of turquoise color palette throughout what you all have seen so far, mostly the bridge and the cargo hold. So Belloryn has successfully navigated the ship out of the massive cavern, and you all are slowly cruising over the desert landscape. So what would you like to do? And you've slain the ghast that was apparently trapped within the captain's quarters.
We made it, guys. We got out.
I pick myself up off the floor from where I'd collapsed and prop myself up with my sword and say, Nothing. Just breathing heavily and no. I say I don't feel well.
Yeah, because you were poisoned.
Yeah, paralyzed.
Was it poisoned and paralyzed? Yeah.
I shook off the paralysis. Also, unless something changed, I still have a level of exhaustion.
Yes, you still have a level of exhaustion.
So I'm exhausted and poisoned.
Right.
I know what'll
Well,
make you feel better. Want to drive? This is awesome.
Are you serious?
Let's wait till he's feeling a little better. I'd rather not go crashing back down into the ground. No offense. You're looking a little sick right now to be trying to fly this thing.
Fair enough.
How about you take a nap, friend?
Fair enough. On that subject, does anybody have something for this feeling like I have tepid swamp water in my veins?
Well,
No.
we found some stuff. I don't know what it does yet, but it looks magic. There's some ointment that looks magical. It might help.
You want this ointment?
Does
Lay
anyone
it
know
on
what
the
this
ground.
does?
We can find out.
So yeah, you guys. So So exploring the ship. So on the ghast that you killed, there are 2 healing potions that you all identify successfully in the captain's quarters. So the first room, I'll just go ahead and share this with you. So the first room here out of the bridge is the captain's quarters. In that, you see a desk, a bed, some writing implements, some parchment, etc. Searching that gets you this like jar of ointment that has a little bit of ointment on the bottom. The next room is also apparently a personal room, a single bed, a single desk. In that desk is a scroll with clearly a magical spell that none of you recognize. The next room is apparently crew quarters. There's 4 beds in here and a small chest. The next room down is the galley. So this is primarily a kitchen, gathering area, etc., with a small closet off to the side. And then this large area near the tail is the hold. And then, of course, you guys know the top deck where you fought the ghouls off. So that's the anatomy of the vessel. So you have 2 of the healing potions on the gas, the ointment in the desk, the scroll in the desk. Searching through the crew quarters, you find a bolt, a crossbow bolt that is apparently magical because it still looks in good condition. A ring made of some silvery material that does not seem magical but seems valuable. And then miscellaneous throughout the ship, you found 200 gold as well as 2 agate gemstones. So you guys kind of explore the ship and find these things as Belloryn is slowly guiding it over the desert rocklands.
If no one has any objections, I'd like to take one of those healing potions. Unless somebody wants to save me the trouble with a spell or something.
Well, I don't have any spells that do that, so I'm all tapped there for you.
I've got spells that do the other thing.
Save those for somebody that's not me. Please.
Are you sure you can't just sleep it off?
Tell you what, I'll try. I'll crawl into the crew quarters, claim a bunk, and then see how I'm feeling after. I don't know when.
Okay. All right. So Gear Falcon lays down for a nap.
Gear Falcon.
What is everybody else up to as the ship is slowly? It's very slow. I mean, the fact that you're flying is helpful, but it's a pretty slow speed to get anywhere with the damaged spelljamming helm.
Can we see the kanks?
Yeah, so it takes you a little while. So everybody gets the advantage of a long rest. So everybody's fatigue is resolved. Everybody gets pretty much healed up. Spell slots replenished. Belloryn, you're the only exception. You do not get any advantages of any kind of rest as your brain is engaged. So Belloryn, you grew up on the Rock of Brawl. Your parents took you to some you've been on an elven armada, this massive ship that's the core of the elven fleet. You've even been on a crystal ship, which was even more massive, driven by the power of the stars. You've been on these ships. You've never encountered or you've never been in any particular role. Like you've never done this thing that you're doing before. And being connected to the spelljamming helm, you have this bizarre awareness of the ship status as you're commanding it. And it just takes the barest mental thought to change the speed and orientation and everything else. Nonetheless, it is fairly cognitively demanding. Like every now and then you notice your mind sort of wandering and then the ship sort of starts to wander and you kind of have to come back and focus. So while everybody else is having a nice little rest, you're actually, even though the ship is like going pretty slow and you know the direction that you should be going in, fairly well cognitively engaged. And this is a very new experience for you. You've never actually done a thing on a ship, even though you've been on multiple ships before.
Is it like low grade intellectus?
Exactly.
Got it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So you're aware of where people are on the ship, a little bit of what they're doing, the various magic items. You can kind of feel separate little entities on the ship. So yeah, you're basically aware of everything that's going on the ship. Okay, so everybody gets their long rest. So it takes you about 8 hours, which again, you guys are going fairly slowly. You see the sun. You actually emerged right around dawn, so it's close to sunset while you get to the point where you parked your kanks. Did you tie them up, or how did you settle them basically?
We only just left them because they didn't fit in the tunnel.
Yeah,
So
that's my recollection as well.
Yeah.
Did you find something to tie them off to?
I don't think you did. So
see, like we didn't know that they didn't come with us until we were already halfway in the tunnel. So
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't just me.
So so on the bridge, the front, the whole front, like 30 degrees of the bridge is clear glass that has the integrity of steel that allows you to look out of it. You can also have somebody go up to the top deck to act as a scout to have a look at the ground. So is anybody going to go to the top deck? You guys just going to look through the glass steel front?
Who has the highest passive perception?
Aezsh.
Is it really me?
Yep.
That's a little unfortunate. Okay. I'll go above deck and actually no, I'm gonna stay in the room with the glass so that I can communicate with the pilot, with the person piloting it, and I'm gonna go up to the glass and like kind of scan.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Ratha does. I forgot Ratha.
Okay.
Ratha joined us.
I was thinking it probably wasn't me. I only have like a 14.
Probably survive. I'll go up to the top.
Okay, great. Yeah, Ratha. So not only are you're pretty keen at perceiving things, but you know about kanks and their basic behavior. So you guys slowly cruise the ship over. You see the entrance to the tunnel that you went through. And Ratha, you spot the 4 kanks that you guys had as steeds. They're like kind of together, but they're a little bit scattered around. But you spot them. So you could, if Belloryn was able to gently bring the ship down, you think you might be able to entice them back onto the top deck.
Okay. I'll try to communicate. I'll communicate that to Belloryn.
Okay, so you head back down into the bridge.
Yeah, I don't have any other way of trying to connect with him. Unless he can't just like hear me talking, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta talk to him.
That'd be useful.
Put your mouth right on the ship.
No, there is a communication. So one of the chairs. Okay, so the chairs in the bridge are as follows. There is the pilot chair. There's the captain's chair. There's the engineer's chair. There's the gunner's chair, and there's the communications chair. So these are the 5 chairs on the bridge, except for the pilot's chair and arguably the captain. None of these are functional, basically. Like the engineer, the spelljamming helm is not in a position that you can manipulate it. The gunnery, your weapons are inactive, and your communications are inactive. But if somebody was in the communications chair, that would facilitate communication within the ship. But at least right now, you need to like run from place to place to place. Okay, so Ratha, you go back to the bridge.
Hey, Belloryn, can you hear me while you're doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
I found them, so they're all a little scattered. But if you can plop back right over there, I'm pointing where I found them. And then, is there any way you could kind of gently land the ship down so that I could probably try and get them up on the deck? I think
That
I
is
can
an
get 'em.
excellent question.
All right, let's find out.
All right. Belloryn, go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
All right.
Can I go to the window and be like trying to guide him, like, oh, like 50 feet, 40 feet, 30 feet?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll it with advantage. With Aezsh guiding you.
Hey.
I'm just envisioning it like backing, trying to help someone back up a trailer or something.
Exactly.
Advantage was very important there because it was a 6, and then I rolled a 17.
Nice.
That reminds me, I got
Okay, so what's your total?
17, no modifier.
Okay. All right, so Belloryn, so Ratha, you're kind of pointing where to set it down. Belloryn, you take the ship down slowly. It's a little bit tricky because it's kind of in a little bit of a canyon where you're trying to land, where the Kanks are, but you eventually bring it down and settle it onto the ground. Ratha, you want to go and try to wrangle the Kanks?
Yeah.
All right, give me an animal handling check.
I can.
That is a non-natural
help with-
20.
Oh, that works too.
Kara, are you going to help her?
Yeah, I just realized I'm proficient in animal handling for
Oh,
some reason.
Yeah.
Yay, more people. Yeah.
Okay, so Kida and Ratha, you guys managed to round up the Kanks, get them up onto the top deck. They're a little bit disconcerted, but you're able to get them happy enough. And then Belloryn, with that previous check, you're able to take off without damaging the ship. So you guys have got your Kanks, you recovered. You're floating. Are you heading back west? Well, you had the Westicator, right, which sent you west. So now are you heading back east towards Scandalar Outpost?
If we're gonna return those Kanks, we do need to go back to where we came from.
Yes, so we are heading not in the direction the Westicator is saying.
Okay, yeah, so you're going opposite. Okay, great. So Belloryn, you're trying to navigate this. Aezsh is probably going to help out with some landmarks. So go ahead and roll a survival, Belloryn, to not get horrendously lost. It's very disorienting. You know, again, you've been on spelljamming ships before. You've lived on the Rock of Brawl, but being above the planet's surface and trying to figure out where everything is pretty confusing.
It's a 13.
Okay. Okay, you head what you think is east, and you spot the ziggurat. below you as you're heading along. So you know you're on track. The sun has set by this point. Looking down, you all see the ziggurat. You see a couple of small figures kind of walking out of its large archways. Do you want to pause, or do you want to carry on back to the outpost?
Those things looked really creepy last time I saw them. I don't know if we want to. Do we want to stop and take a look again, or do we keep moving? What do you guys think?
I'll feel a lot better when we can shoot stuff with the ship. I don't know what that would look
Yeah.
like, but I can tell we can't do it now.
I'm curious to investigate more intensely, but not right now, I think.
Okay, and you're the main one who wanted to take a look at this, so I'm going to assume that means we're moving on.
I have no desire for us to get murdered by cultists today. Maybe tomorrow.
Fair enough.
I'm
All
down
right.
with that plan.
You guys continue. So Belloryn, you're going to have to switch out with someone. You've been on duty at this point for 12 hours. Somebody else is going to have to pilot.
Feeling pretty tired here.
Who's taking
Okay.
over piloting duties?
I'll do it.
There we
Are
go.
you doing all right? Did last night's sleep help you out?
I
Feeling better?
am feeling considerably better, thank you.
Excellent.
Oh, by the way, Kida,
Wait,
I didn't get a chance. Thank you for doing all the heavy lifting on that thing that basically clawed me half to death.
Quite welcome. It was all worth it to see you finish that final blow with such justice.
It felt pretty damn good. That's all I'll say about that.
All right, you adventurers. I'm going to go take a nap.
I want to know who are the roomies. Who's
You've earned it.
Oh,
Yeah, speaking of, we haven't discussed rooming and sleeping situations.
Unless no one cares. If I'm the only one who cares,
I presume that we're staying here for a bit. We're planning on using this ship, so we should figure out who's sleeping where.
I'd say until we figure out who's doing what on this ship, we should cast lots for beds.
I also would like to point out that there are
someone's gonna have to double up because there's only
there are
space for
more people than beds, I believe.
7 sleeping
So
rooms.
somebody's doubling up.
Yeah, someone's doubling up. 'Cause it's
Although
We
seven
won't
of us
all
and-
ever be sleeping at one time.
If you
Yeah.
do shifts, right?
That's
like
fair.
you only need to
Oh,
sleep
yeah.
for 8 hours.
Point. That's a good point.
It's true.
Does it take someone piloting the ship just to maintain it just like hovering?
No. So if you just don't want to go anywhere and just hang out, at least right now with the configuration, you don't need anything.
Okay.
We should figure out really fast who the captain is, because you really can't have a ship without a captain.
We need to decide what the captain is going to actually be doing on this ship. Merchant captains are different from, well, my kind of captain.
So
I volunteer not to do it.
I'll put my name forward.
okay, so let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of the different roles. So the pilot can do the following. You can escape combat, do evasive maneuvers, or pursue a target if you're engaged with another ship. The captain can give orders into the fire, which is just like going all in and accept a crisis but roll insight, perception, or persuasion to do that. The captain can also keep it together, which is allowing a crisis instead of an enemy hit. They can also support another department. The engineer can boost the engines to either escape or pursue an opponent. They can do damage control and they can do emergency repairs. The gunner can aim, fire guns, and target systems. The communications person can engage in scans and communications. And then anybody who's not in one of those roles can do a general action, which is to help the ship or the crew manage a crisis that happens, or help one of the other departments to help them do a thing. And when we'll get into a system where we'll engage in a ship combat. We'll try it out. But that's basically what the roles are and what they do.
They're all
Does
faster.
the communications officer, does that person communicate with other vessels? Does there need to be a
Exactly.
high charisma there?
Yeah, exactly. So charisma is useful for that, as well as wisdom in terms of scanning and activating sensors, etc.
So what are the associated skills with the other positions? Because like you said, for captain, like insight, persuasion,
That is a good question. Okay,
Yeah.
so for the pilot,
Alright,
that's
he's
going to
gone.
be your spelljamming skill. All the pilot actions are spelljamming skill. The captain is insight, perception, or persuasion. The engineer is a tool use. So if you have an appropriate tool use skill, that's going to be what you need for that. The gunner, for aiming, it's going to be perception. Otherwise, for firing the ship, it's going to be either dexterity or an intelligence for that. And then the communications is going to be persuasion and insight.
What was the last one?
Communications.
Okay.
And then for the general actions, which again are actually like going to be very important. There's any of the skills will help the ship. So you can use any skill, and then dealing with a crisis. The crises are things like loss of the cargo, crew loss, fire, haywire system damage, air loss. So these are things where you're going to need to like run around and like repair the ship as it's getting damaged. And that's going to be probably largely athletics to get to where you need to be, and then some kind of tool use to do the repair, or if it's something like a fire, probably athletics or something similar to beat it out.
Not me then. I break even on athletics because I'm a pirate.
Yeah, you probably don't want me on that duty either.
I could probably do guns. I have perception +6, and then what was the other one for the gunner?
Intelligence, intelligence or dexterity.
Okay, so my dexterity and intelligence are both +3.
Yeah, so it seems like Kida and Grikiki are most suited for like dealing with the crap that happens, because Kida can get there quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
And Grikiki is pretty good with athletics. So like you guys could like be patching the holes that occur. Seems like the best use of that skill set.
And then I could also be just general to help heal people. So I have that skill set too.
You're the McCoy.
I'm the McCoy.
So a primary and backup job, maybe, because we have.
Yeah,
we're not short on charisma. That's
not
for
short
sure.
on charisma. Yeah, primary and backup job. That's a really good idea.
And we don't necessarily have to have a captain, just someone who is in that role for a particular adventure.
Exactly.
Right.
Sounds good.
We should discuss that in character.
On a mechanical level, the captain just like manages like where the problems happen.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, who knows how long we're going to stick together after this? We're just going to go see where our parents are, and then after that, we might all split up.
It's true.
That's the
No, we're
spirit.
not, but that's Enid saying it. 'Cause that's
Yeah. We've managed this far without an official leader, so.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. My charisma's one of my second lowest stat at 12. So I'll put myself forward for pilot for now.
Also, you've got spell jamming, and none of us do.
Well,
Kiki does.
Well, except Grikiki.
so I was gonna say it should either be me or Grikiki in the pilot seat.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
I would be fine doing communications, or I could begrudgingly assist as captain, although that's not exactly what I really want to do. I feel like I probably am passable in that role.
And then with engineering, you said any kind of tool of proficiency, I guess that would be applicable. So like would thieves tools be applicable to engineering?
Yep.
Okay, so like I could probably do engineering as well.
I'm not proficient in any tools.
Me either.
I have navigator's tools.
Yeah, those would work.
Yeah, got nothing.
Actually, engineer sounds like a great job for Grikiki.
All right, you're the Scotty. Perfect. This is how we're doing it.
So the dock that I shared there is the mechanic. Yeah. So I would scroll down past all the add-ons, etc., the tables, and then get to the ship actions, because that's going to be relevant for the who does what, basically.
I may have missed it, but what are CP?
That's command points. So that's the mechanism that is used to do a thing. So firing weapons uses command points. You can also generate command points. So it's a resource basically that you need to share. So one of the most important things that the captain does is allocate where those command points go, basically, like which department gets to use them.
Gotcha.
Are they synonymous with spell jamming points, or is that something different?
They're synonymous.
I like the idea of the ship crises. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope
Right?
we never have to deal with it.
Oh, you're adorable, Renee.
So does anyone have a position they particularly feel inclined towards?
Probably gunner for me since high perception.
Feeling
I'll
pilot.
captain it up after my nap.
Comms is about the only thing I can do.
I can fill in. I would be a passable comms or gunner or captain. I can kind of flex around to whatever role
I think I can
if someone
do
needs to
gunner
take a break.
too, like if necessary.
Okay, so Ratha's gunner, at least right now. Again, I think that it's good to consider that you might change roles depending on the adventure that you're on.
Yeah, we don't have to lock in.
Belloryn's captain, Falcon, your pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And then who's engineer?
Yeah, I can also do engineer too if someone else wanted to be gunner.
I could take over gunner. I'm probably not your person for engineer.
Okay.
What would the skill,
I could also cover gunner.
What would the associated ability be for the skill for engineering?
Your tool check.
Yeah, is it just the tool only?
ability.
Okay.
Yeah, I have none of that.
I got no tools.
So is me and Grikiki, are we like the only tool proficient?
No, I have thieves tools.
Okay. So you could also be engineer.
Well,
I
let's
could be
just go
engi-
down the line. So,
Yeah.
captain. Who's captain?
Belloryn right now.
Belloryn. Who's pilot?
Me, Dear Falcon.
Gear Falcon. Who's engineer?
I'll do engineer this time.
You want to do engineer? Who's gunner?
I'll be the gunner.
Gunner. Who's comms?
Guess that's me.
And then Kida and I are general action.
Okay. Sorry, that went faster. That went faster than I could type with a cat on my lap. Okay, cool. Okay, so you guys pick up the kinks. You figure out what your roles are going to be. The ship continues to slowly soar over the desert landscape. Gear Falcon took over piloting so that Belloryn can get a rest. It's nighttime. You guys see the beautiful moonlit landscape below you. Eventually pass beyond the rocky badlands, go over the sea of silt that you encountered where the monstrous tentacled thing tried to grab you. And then see Scandalar Outpost with its a variety of derelict ships sort of around it in the distance. Just as dawn breaks, you arrive at Scandalar Outpost. You gonna go? Are you just gonna return the Kanks to Espy, or are you gonna chat with him at all?
Let's return and ask him about repairs.
Yeah, if he might have some spare parts that we could use to fix this thing up a bit.
Okay.
Maybe that would be a good use of some of this gold that we found on board the ship.
Yup.
Just a thought.
Great. Who's gonna talk to him?
One who can haggle.
Yeah, I
Who's
can
our
go there.
Yeah,
I think Ratha and I were the ones who largely talked to him last time.
I'll go and assist.
Yeah, that's.
So again, Espy is this bulky, green-skinned creature of an unknown race. He's in charge of the main barter shop. He takes in all the rubbish, etc. He gave you or sold you. He didn't give you shit. Like you guys had to pay for everything you got from Espy. But he sold you the Westicator. He sold you the Kanks or rented you the Kanks. So you return them to him. So he appreciates that. He also sold you the information about the nightmare beast that roams the wastelands that you were able to avoid or didn't see. So the three of you approach the barter shop. SB kind of looks up, says, you're back,
Indeed.
Did
Got a question real fast.
Yeah.
Did he sell us the Westicator? Or did he rent us the Westicator?
No, he sold that to
He
us.
sold you the Westicator.
Okay, if we return that to him, let's see if we can get at least some of our money back. right.
Okay. Yeah. So, how'd it go?
Well, it was crazy out there, but we made it.
I see you got a ship.
We did. We did get a ship. Appreciate the information that you so generously sold us.
Nicely done. Very impressive. I'll mark that off my list for future explorations. He goes and makes some kind of marking behind the desk.
Speaking of the ship, you would be the person we would want to speak to regarding parts for our ship, wouldn't you?
Oh, I could help you with parts, but probably not the ones that you need. Your best bet is to go to the spaceport and see what all they can do for you. And in fact, I have a shipment of pieces that I need to take into the spaceport if you're willing to go there for me. I'm sure they would appreciate the shipment, and then they can for a military ship, I'm sure they'd be happy to work out a deal with you to outfit it. My material is not well designed for military vessels.
And how far is it to travel to the spaceport?
Well, it depends on how fast your ship is going. It seems a bit slow going. It might take a few days, but I can give you the coordinates.
And is it in the direction? I'm going to whisper this to Aezh. Is this in the direction of the Rock of Bro? Or is this like a wet?
Is it on this? The Rock of Brawl is like interplanetary. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like a local thing.
Right. Yeah. This is the spaceport for the sovereignty of High Court.
So you want us to bring a shipment there? What sort of compensation are we talking?
Well, you brought the Kanks back. I'll take the Westicator. I'll give you the pieces parts. I'm going to have to place a geese on you to make sure that you actually do the job, and that's going to cost some money. I'll say I'll give you 100 gold pieces if you manage it and send the profit back to me.
So, if I remember correctly, you sold us the Westicator. We'd be happy to give it back in exchange for a bit of a refund.
Well, don't have much need of it now, do I?
No, but there are adventurers who will follow us who will surely be able to get some use of it. You could resell it back to them.
All right, I'll give you 100 gold pieces and a copper piece.
That's hardly a return on our 2 gold that we paid for it. Now
You paid 5 gold.
5 gold for the Westicator. That's hardly a return on that gold there. 1 copper piece. Come on now. We know you could do more than that.
All right, give me.
We gladly brought you your kinks back as we promised. We're honorable folk.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Uh, 9.
Okay.
Not great.
Not great. He shrugs at you and says, "Well, that's the deal. I mean, it's 100 gold profit for you, actually."
And what is this shipment that we're taking?
Oh, pieces, parts. Don't worry about it. It's a bunch of boxes.
Anything of particular note that we should be concerned about?
Nothing dangerous for you or the ship. Just deliver it to the outpost.
I turn to Belloryn. I'm like, what do you think?
You know,
You're the one who's been flying that ship.
it occurs to me that something that you won't specifically tell us what it is, and the secrecy might be worth a little extra something.
There's a bunch of pieces, parts, you idiots. All right, fine. He comes out from behind the entrance and goes over to the crates. He like cranks open a couple of them, and you guys look, and it's like nobody there has a proficiency of spelljamming ships, so it's pieces, parts.
I just wanted to be sure.
I'm
Look,
a little.
we're all on the up and up here.
I'm also a little off-put by the idea of being put under a gaze.
Well, how am I supposed to be sure you don't just take this stuff and fly off and sell it yourself?
It's honor. Look at the.
We brought you your kinks back. We could have up and taken them as well, and we.
Belloryn, were you gesturing at your?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I do my very best to look as reputable as possible, which is hard for me.
Yeah, Belloryn, give me a persuasion check.
All right.
I forgot about the piercings.
All right. Let's see. Plus. All right, that is an 18.
You are graduates of the Eggford Adventuring Academy. All right. You're obviously adventurers. You found the ship. You're graduates of the academy. I'll trust you with the shipment. You send back the profits to me on the next ship back.
You can certainly do that.
The deal.
Wonderful. I'll have them loaded up.
One other thought. You don't have to worry about the cost of casting a gaze on us. You could easily pass at least a portion of that on along the way.
All right, fair enough. How about this? I'll give you 150 now. And when I get my portion, I'll send 50 on to you through the academy.
That sounds agreeable to me. You too?
Yes.
We can certainly do that. You said just send it on the next ship pointed back this direction?
Yep. Yeah, there's the spaceport's always sending ships down. We have a good trade with them.
We can do that.
Good. Okay. So he has been minions load up some crates into the cargo hold of the ship. Yeah, you guys get it. He also give you, very importantly, he gives you directions on how to get to the starport of High Court. So based on those instructions, you're able to head there. So yeah, so you guys have a cargo hold full. What do you want to go? I mean, you have a ship. You could literally go wherever you want. It's pretty slow going at this point. It cannot go to spelljamming speeds. It needs to get more substantial repairs.
We need it to be able to do that.
You do need to be able to do that. It's going to take years to get to Brawl, for example, from here without spelljamming speeds.
So we should
Also-
definitely head onwards to the spaceport and try and get some of these repairs taken care of. That should be, in my opinion, our first
Priority
priority
one.
is getting this thing back up in top shape where we can cruise at spelljamming speed.
We ought to
So
at
I don't
least-
know a lot about these, but I know that it's supposed to go a lot faster than this.
We ought to at least look at weapons too.
We should have just bought a ticket to Brawl.
That would be great. I would love to be able to afford that.
But now we can go under the radar for any evildoers who would try and track our
For
movements.
sure, that's great for a future. Just we're on a time constraint for this one.
And if you buy a ticket, you have to follow their rules and wear a seatbelt. And
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that our parents being missing is not worth putting on a seatbelt. Good.
Okay.
On
So
that
you
note.
guys, okay. So you guys head off to following the directions that SB gave you. As you're going, Aezsh, you hear a voice in your mind, and I don't know that you've been the subject of a sending before. Is that true?
It would be unlikely.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that you have. So you hear a voice in your mind, and it says, Aezsh Zyron, I'm still pursuing my investigation in Zanzivis 9. Hold tight. I'll let you know when things come out and give you more information. You can reply, you can reply to him with a short phrase.
Do I know who this is?
Zyron, your brother?
Oh, so it's this. Oh, that's what that was saying. That it is Zyron sending. Okay, he said.
Well,
Okay.
it said it. You heard Aezsh Zyron. You don't
Got
know
it.
who sent it, so it's possible it's an imposter.
You bastard.
So he's still pursuing
Out of out.
the investigation, but he hasn't. Presumably, at this point, he hasn't figured anything out. Okay, I'll reply. We're on our way to Brawl. Let us know if you find out more about our parents.
Okay.
We have our own ship now.
Cool. All right, that just barely comes in under the line for the limit on the spell. Okay, great. Yeah, you again. It's back and forth. So single intersection. All right, you guys break through the atmosphere. So you. Well, you all know, or mostly all of you except Grikiki know, because you're off-world, that outside of like the planets and asteroids and whatnot, it's just black void vacuum. As you leave the atmosphere of Andrel, a bubble of air consumes the ship and goes with you and with your gravity plane. So there's a plane of gravity on the bottom of the ship, basically, that holds everybody down, and this has pulled a bunch of air with you into space. As you leave the atmosphere, you look out. Again, most of you have seen this before. Yeah, Grikiki, you have never seen this before. Like, there are stars without number, unimpeded by any atmosphere, and it's absolutely breathtaking. And then you look down at the planet of Andrel below you and see the blues and greens and browns, and it's absolutely breathtaking.
Can we go above deck while we're in space?
Yes.
Okay, Grikiki keeps like alternately plastering herself to like the front window and then like running up the stairs and like looking over the side of the ship. She's like so excited about this whole thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Careful, don't fall off again.
Space is huge. So you guys continue to fly up away from the planet. Above the sovereignty of High Court, there is a massive construct that's going to be maybe a half mile in diameter. It's a circular, constructed out of some kind of white stone. Berthed around the edge of it are a variety of different ships. There are some hammer ships. There's dolphin ships. They're all flying the flag of White Star, which is the flag of the Sovereignty Navy. So they're all military ships docked at this spaceport. As far as you can tell, there are no civilian ships. But this is where SB told you to go. Your comms are fried, so...
Do we have any kind of flag that we're flying or any kind of insignia?
No, you have no flag or insignia. The exterior of the ship is pretty nondescript.
Did we find any sort of like flag or anything in any of the cabins?
Yeah, go and give me an investigation check, Kida.
That's a 6.
6. Yeah, you got the impression, looking through the captain and the pilot's quarters, that that this ship is old, and you're not sure if it had any association once upon a time, if that would be meaningful for modern day people.
Okay.
Belloryn?
Is there a yardarm, anything like that on the exterior? Something that a flag would be run up on?
That's a good question. You see a place where a yardarm would be, but it has broken off.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Prestidigitation and like flag of sparkles and just sort of merry dancing lights.
Yeah, if I can help out, I've got minor illusion. I'm going to do what I can to like help sell this flag.
Okay. What do you want this flag to actually be? Do you want to replicate the White Star flag that you see on these military ships, or
God, no.
Maybe as a question for Gear Falcon, as the person with spelljamming experience, do we know if there's like a universal symbol to be like, hey, we aren't trying to fight you or anything like that? Just like...
Oh, yeah. No, Gear Falcon, 100% skull and crossbones. Like, not even a question.
All right. Let's
This
cast
seems dubious.
The symbol.
This seems dubious, Gear Falcon.
How about the symbol for money? Like a big gold piece, a big spinning gold piece.
Has Aezsh ever seen on the ship that he flew over on? Did they run some kind of civilian insignia or insignia of the company? Or
yeah, exactly. They had the insignia of the company, Aezsh, which was a single silk square on angle on a blue field.
Does Eggfort have an insignia?
Eggfort does have an insignia. It is a single silver sphere on a white background, very similar to your embedded implants.
That is very simple.
There we go.
Let's go for the
let's do that.
academy. Let's try the academy symbol. That seems the most logical to me. I kind of glare at Falcon.
Fine.
Everybody be ready to sing the school song.
Kill others and take their shit.
Oh my god! Oh, that's great. Yeah, Dear
Roll
Falcon,
for performance.
get inspiration for that. That is absolutely the school song. Kill monsters and take their shit. Okay, so you guys approach the space station. You throw up for Adventuring Academy flag. A couple of smaller than your vessels. They look kind of like they basically look like bullet-shaped objects kind of fly out from the spaceport and come on alongside you, basically escorting you to a docking station. You come alongside. A gangplank kind of thuds onto the top deck. Who is on the top deck when you guys come in and make landing? Grikiki, Kida.
I'll be out.
I guess Belloryn and I would be up there if we're trying to do the flag illusion.
Okay, so Enid and Gear Falcon, you guys are on the bridge. Okay, great. Okay, everybody else is on the top. So yeah, this plank falls down. Something like a dozen armed guys flood onto the ship. They're aiming crossbows at you, looking very suspicious. A officer comes on. You all recognize this guy. This is the same dude who apparently, at least, gave you the information about the downed asteroid that had the like spider creature embedded in it. This is Lieutenant George. Comes onto the ship and kind of looks at you all. Says, "Right, well, I'm the Adventuring Academy liaison. Your adventurers, welcome to the High Court Spaceport. You're all with me? Come on, get everybody from down below."
We have a shipment on board. We were sent by SP to bring a shipment of materials.
Oh, great. Fantastic. We'll send some guys to get it. We owe you some money then. Let's go find a conference room and have a chat.
All right.
All right. He leads you all through the spaceport. Again, it's this massive, massive structure. You can't imagine the resources that were built into this thing. The walls are all like white stone, like marble, that's been hewn and shaped into these corridors. There are doors that are made out of steel and bronze, a handful of wooden doors. There's all sorts of military personnel all over the place. This is, you guys have been on Andrel long enough. You know that this is the reason why the sovereignty of High Court is as safe as it is. This structure protects the country from mind flayers, Nyogi, beholders, all the horrible shit that's out there. This is why the country is safe, and this is why the Adventuring Academy exists, is because it's a very safe, well-secured location. So you guys are following Lieutenant George. Who's in front and who's in back in this order?
I'll be towards the front.
Kind of towards the back.
Ratha?
I'll be behind Grikiki.
Okay.
Next to
I'll be-
Aezsh, wherever he is.
Yeah, middle front. I'll follow Kida.
Okay.
I'll be behind him.
Is anyone behind Ratha? Nope. Okay. All right, Ratha, give me an athletics check, please. And who's in front of Ratha? Who's like next in the line?
Where was Ratha in the order?
He was
Just
way
in
in
the
the back.
Oh,
I guess.
we should have been typing that down.
Where's Belloryn? Because
Yeah,
it's either Enid or Belloryn, depending on where he's at. Belloryn's to the
Yes.
front, so it's probably
Yes, it's me.
Enid.
Because I'm behind Aezsh,
next.
who's
Okay.
behind Kida, who's behind Grikiki.
Okay.
Who knows?
Enid, go ahead and roll a perception check for me, please.
Let me find that sweet, sweet 20. Also a 9.
9? Okay, great. Okay, so you all are progressing through this massive complex. Ratha, you're in the back, you're kind of trolleying along. Suddenly, somebody grabs you from behind, throws their hand over your mouth, and drags you into a nearby corridor. They're saying, shh, don't scream. I need your help.
And I, of course, don't see this with my
You do
sweet,
not
sweet
see, yeah, you don't notice anything amiss.
Cool.
I produce flame towards the group.
Does that mean it hits me?
Okay, Enid, give me another perception check.
Ooh, no, mm-hmm. I roll a 1.
Okay. Ratha, you throw your fire and it splatters against the wall. That whoever's grabbing you like pulls you further into whatever room they're in. They turn you towards them, and you recognize this person. This is one of your professors. On this fucking space station. It is Professor Aezsh.
Professor.
Why didn't you just try to almost kidnap me? What the hell?
He lets go. He lets go of you and is like, "Shush."
All right, I breathe and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
I escaped from the elves. I've been hiding on this station. Please help me get off.
Okay. What do the elves want with you?
It doesn't matter.
Can I tell the rest of the group, or do you not want them to know either?
They can know, but the military cannot know that I am here.
Okay, well, I probably know ways to avoid them. Where have you been camping out this whole time?
I've been hiding in the air vents. It has been most unpleasant.
All right. Would Ratha have like any idea about the station or like where he could hide out?
Yeah, I mean, you've never been here before. Go ahead and give me a history check, though.
Basic math. That's an 11.
You know that anybody that goes to the sovereignty has to pass through the spaceport. So, for example, when your father came to take the posting, they had to go through the spaceport and get like verified, et cetera, before they could go down to the planet. So any ship that goes from the planet into space or from space onto the planet has to go through the spaceport.
Okay.
Do you have a ship? How did you arrive?
Yeah, we just got a ship. It's pretty beat up. That's actually why we're here. We're trying to get some parts for it. We can't go to spelljammer speed, so I'm not sure how helpful we're gonna be.
I will stay hidden and join you once the ship is repaired.
All right. How do you want me to signal you or get back to you or anything?
Do the thing that you just did. The fire.
The fire? Okay.
I will find you then.
All right.
Good. He pulls a grate off of like a tiny like a 2-foot grate off of the wall, and like he's a big metal dude. I don't know if you probably haven't played with him yet, Mary Catherine, but he's like this huge metal dude, and he like goes on his knees and like forces himself, and it's like like this scraping metal sound as he forces himself into this air vent, and then he pulls the grate back to stay just like hanging out in this air vent.
Okay. Ratha is actually like trying to contain laughter. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna run back to the group because that was really weird.
Okay. Enid, you hear footsteps behind you and you see Ratha run up to you.
Enid,
Did you need to go to the bathroom?
no. Professor Aezsh, I think he's the one that went with y'all on y'all senior trip. I don't know. I was sick, so I don't remember much. Okay. Well,
You saw Professor Aezsh when you went to the bathroom?
No. Okay. Well, like, we need to keep this on the down low. He apparently is being chased by the elves, and he doesn't need to be here, and he asked for my help. He asked for our help to get off of here without them seeing him.
We're still being escorted by some soldiers, yeah.
Actually, just Lieutenant George is in the front of the column.
Okay, and we're in the back.
The rest of the soldiers have not been with you.
I'm like whispering this to you.
Yeah. Why is he?
But he grabbed me behind a valley, and like I thought I was being kidnapped. I don't know what was happening.
I feel like I would have noticed this. Are you sure?
Seems like Enid, I threw a flame at you guys, and you didn't see it. You didn't notice anything. You're supposed to be a magic caster. Shouldn't you have like sensed that?
You see that scorch mark back there? That was me.
I mean, I believe you. It just, wow.
We'll work on your like perception training. Anyway, he's like, I don't know. He just like went to an air duct, and he's been like hanging out here. I don't know how long. I don't know the last time y'all saw him, but he's like been chilling in this like the air vents, trying to stay away from the elves. I don't know what to do. I didn't go on the senior trip with you guys. Do you trust him?
Do any of the rest of us hear this?
No.
I'm just really talking to
kind of hanging it back, yeah.
So this is a private conversation.
Got a story. Yep. All right, that was a wild ride. But I guess you don't really know Professor Aezsh, so I guess I believe you when you used his name. So, yeah, he was very. I trust him. He seemed to have our best interests in mind on the senior project. He always kept us safe. He willingly fought in every battle, even though he wasn't, really supposed to. So, but I'm really confused.
I don't know why he's here, but he's gonna stay in the vents until
he's gonna stay in the vents.
Yeah, the air ducts until we get our ship repaired, because I told him that we can't travel very fast right now.
How? So he's on the run.
Yeah.
And he's in the vents. And he wants us with a broken ship to smuggle him.
He asked for our help.
Okay. Well, I guess like whenever we get to a private moment with everybody else, we can talk it over with them. But I mean, personally, I'm fine with it. Like, okay. I'm confused. I mean, I don't want his presence to jeopardize getting to Brawl as soon as possible. But I mean, I don't want him to just live in a vent for the rest of his life. So.
Lieutenant George maneuvers you guys into a conference room. There's a large table. He gestures for you all to sit. There's a water decanter. He, offers water for everybody. He sits down. He's like, all right, look. So.
Take a sip. Oh, sorry. I just want to say, just for flavor, I take a sip of Aezsh's water before he drinks it, and then I give it back to him.
Nice.
And continue.
All right, so you are Fort graduates. I talked to you all about the asteroid. What happened with that thing? I didn't get a full report.
Oh, we found it. We brought it back. We got
There
an
was
A
a-
on our project.
There
We
was a giant
graduated.
bug involved.
Oh yeah, some weird big wooden bug thing. It was weird. It disappeared on us.
Weird bug thing. All right, well, look.
Big.
Big.
All right,
Very
now you got yourselves a ship. That's great. Good job on the ship. It doesn't look very, space worthy. But here, look, here's the deal. We like having white star flag ships out in the world or in the sphere. Helps project, power and confidence and whatnot, especially with adventurer types. So we'll do you a deal, right? We'll fix up the ship. We'll set your column right. We'll get your shields, everything fixed back to how it should be. And then you do a quick job for us.
What's the job?
Well, right. So between here, the main route from Andrel out into the rest of the sphere, there's a little asteroid port of Zaxxas, and Zaxxas is dealing with a little bit of a pirate problem. Now,
Well, let me tell you, we all know about pirate problems.
it's not enough of a thing for the military to get involved, but if you all could go deal with the pirates and report back to us, then we're square.
Is
You
that
know
anywhere in the direction we're trying to go?
Are you gonna ask him that?
Yeah, I'll say we're presently we have a bit of an interest in making our way to Brawl. Is it in any way along that direction?
Yeah, right. So the way you get to Brawl is you go straight to Zaxxas, and then you turn left, and the next stop is Brawl.
Insight?
Sure.
12.
It's a little bit weird that they're having non-military types do this job, but it's also plausible because it's like beyond their immediate sphere of, it's like they're using you as pawns, basically. They want plausible deniability, is what Grikiki thinks.
Okay.
What do you know about these pirates?
They just came on the scene a week ago. They haven't actually boarded any ships. They've just stopped them, but then they've ran. So it's not a problem yet, but we don't want it to be a problem.
I remove my hat and quickly ask, have you noticed any devices or maybe heard any names of these so-called pirates?
Yeah, they seem like amateurs. Like, they're not proper pirates. It seems like there's some people that just got a ship and they've been harassing folks, but not acting piratey. We just need you to go, figure them out. Give them what for.
So just to clarify, he's basically saying like they haven't actually stolen anything. They've just been bothering people.
Right.
Okay.
So, we got a deal?
Could we?
And you're gonna do what for the ship again? Fix everything?
We're gonna
Guns,
fix, look,
shields.
we're gonna
speed?
put we're gonna put the spell jamming column back in. That should power it up, allows you to do spell jamming speeds. We're gonna get the ships fixed, the shields fixed. That's simple. We're gonna get the armor fixed. That's simple. We're gonna make sure the weapons are online, the comms are online. You got a quality ship there, and then you've got to run the White Star flag.
Could we take a moment to discuss this in private?
Please. He gets up, leaves the conference room.
Are there any recording devices in here? They gonna record. I'm paranoid now.
Can I roll insight to see if there are?
How about investigation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to assist?
Yeah, I'll
I'm
assist.
proficient, so I can
Oh.
assist.
Okay, all right. So I'm rolling with advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's a 15 and a 12.
Okay, so Falcon gets up from the conference table, walks around, like looks in the corners, comes back. If there are any devices, they are reasonably well concealed or magical in nature.
Well, Gearfalcon.
What's the big deal? We fly their flag.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. That seems like a reasonable, safe passage within the realm. It's a very recognized flag within this realm.
How common is the vessel we have?
That's a great question. Give me an intelligence check.
It'd be a 19.
Yeah, you are passing familiar with the eel ship, Belloryn. You know of this ship. There are also a variety. There's a lamprey variation. So you know that these are ships that are out there in the world. You've even seen one before. So it's not unique.
Look, it's a common enough ship that we'll have this flag in case we need to be all above board, which, I mean, every good pirate, Falcon, needs to be able to look like a straight every now and again. And then after a while, we can get you your silly skull and crossbones flag. Maybe we can steal it off of...
I'm less concerned about flying under a flag. I privateered before Belloryn.
Okay.
But I'm more worried that these pirates are someone I know.
Well...
And what if they are?
You have an
in any
alternative to getting
case,
our ship fixed?
Then my father probably owes them money.
That's a fair
Falcon,
concern.
give me a history check, Dear Falcon.
I am proficient in that, actually. 22.
Holy crap. So in the world of piracy, you don't think, based on what Lieutenant George has told you already, you don't think that these pirates know what they're doing. Like, based on the description, you're like, these are some yokels that got a ship that are trying to like fleece people. They're not flying a proper pirate flag. They haven't even boarded anyone yet. Like, this is straight up amateur hour. You don't think that your people are aligned with any of these people.
Then again, sounds like if they are pirates, then they're shit pirates. I almost want to go stick it to them just as a point of pride.
And you said your father might owe them money, but would he owe money to the kind of people who have no idea what they're doing?
No.
Like this?
No, he'd owe money to people who had it at some point.
Kida, this sounds like a good opportunity to dispense some justice. What do you think?
I mean, I am inherently mistrustful of authority, including the military. However, in this case, I would trust us more with this situation than the military.
Other concern I have: how are we getting our extra 50 gold back from SP if we're not here anymore?
Well, it's being donated to the school, right? It's
it's through the school.
It's part of our obligation to them.
That's right.
Well, unless any of you can think of a different way to get our ship patched up, I think we should probably just go beat these guys up.
Yeah, we probably can't actually afford the repair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this
sounds
is a lot more than we can pay for anyway. So it sounds as good a deal as I think we're gonna get.
Sounds like narrative providence to me.
What's that over there? It's plot.
Yeah, I think this is a reasonable deal, and that we should take this opportunity.
Whatever gets us to brawl the fastest.
Yeah, and this is along our way to Brawl. Do we have to come back? Did he want us to come back here or just send word back?
Just send word back. So, but he hasn't specified how to do that.
Okay. We should ask him how he wants us to get word back, but assuming it doesn't involve turning around and coming back here ourselves, I think this is a pretty reasonable.
We should
way to go
also
about it.
clarify that he needs to send the payment for the shipment back to SB.
Yeah, we need to get that handled.
Okay, Lieutenant George comes back in after you guys have finished the discussion. All right, so we got us a deal.
Do we?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, we'll fix the ship up. We'll take care of SB's payment, and we'll send you off in a bit.
Excellent. SB said to just send his payment on the next ship headed his way.
We got it. All right. So let's storyboard some stuff. So first of all, they also identify the magic items that you got out of the ship for you.
How kind of them.
So you have the two potions of healing. Who are taking those?
I'll take them.
Okay, Ratha, both of
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Ratha's kind of our dedicated healer.
Okay.
I'll dope them out
Dispensing
when
out
we need to.
There is an almost empty ointment of sight. This is one dose that gives dark vision for 1 hour.
Fine. Dear Falcon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and write that
Person
down.
Doesn't have
They identify a scroll of conjure least helm, duration 8 hours. They explain to you that this is a crisis spell in case there's something that disables your spell jamming helm. You can create this temporary helm to get you somewhere useful, so that you're not just stuck out in the cosmos.
Our captain should have that.
Yeah, so who's taking this scroll?
I'll take it for now.
Belloryn. Okay, scroll of conjure least helm.
It'll be like our talking stick, but it'll be like our captain scroll. Whoever holds it's currently the captain.
The bolt is a bolt of anchoring. If you hit, the target makes a strength save DC 14 or is knocked prone. Who wants the bolt?
Aezsh and Belloryn have crossbow.
I have a crossbow. I'm not likely to use it.
Does it work if you just chuck it really, really hard?
No.
I have a short bow, not a crossbow.
Belloryn.
Anyone with a
I'll take it.
Belloryn, you're
because
welcome to take it.
Yeah.
Okay, bolt of anchoring, DC 14. And then the platinum ring is not magical. You have your gold pieces, and then you have a 2 agate. So who's taking the platinum ring and the 2 agate?
I'm taking the ring.
Okay.
What is the agate good for anything notable, or is it just valuable stones?
Yep.
I'll take
Like
one
a
of
piece
them.
of agate.
Are we at the point where it might be worthwhile to pool our wealth, since we seem to be making more money than we'd ever carry individually?
We can have like a ship fund, kind of like how it was discussed earlier, to use the 200 gold for the ship, and then we can all have like our own like pocket money that we carry. Like we
We
can
could
give
divvy
a
up the
percentage.
150.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds good.
Who's gonna track the group funds?
I can do that.
Aezsh?
Okay.
Okay.
Aezsh can.
Okay,
Got it.
so Aezsh, you got the 200 gold pieces plus the 150 from the deal they made with SB. Okay, and then the ship condition, they fixed the lesser helm, so now you can go to spelljamming speeds. They fixed the hull damage, so it's back up to its full 10 points. They fixed the armor, so your AC is back up to 14. They get your weapons functioning. So the weapons that your eel ship has are, hang on, sorry. There are 2 single beam weapons. and they get your shields up and functioning, and they get your comms up and functioning. Excuse me. So your ship is basically fully functional, and you guys hit your milestone. So everybody levels up one level. Ratha, that's going to take you to the second level. Everybody else is going to take you to third level.
Woo.
Okay, cool.
Should we
so
go ahead and roll hit dice?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great idea.
All right, so I always screw it up. So let me make sure you roll the hit die and then you add your con.
Con, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I always screw this up.
All right.
I'm gonna roll this time. I've been taking the average, but
Yeah, I've been doing average, and I rolled, and I should have taken the average, but whatever.
Oh,
it's
the
fine.
worst.
What's the average again?
it's depending
What's
on
your hit
what
dice?
die. It's your hit die is a D8.
D8.
So
Yeah.
I
So
think
it's 5.
Oh, it's 5.
Average
so
is
same
it would be
difference
5.
for mine.
Yeah. I have a D8, but I rolled a 3, so.
I rolled a 5. So
That
5
happens.
plus
Yeah.
Ooh,
My con mod is 3, so I still get 6 hit points.
Wow.
So not the worst.
Was
Nice.
it 10?
I have a really
7
high
hit
con mod.
points.
My con's +2. So do I get 10?
I rolled a 5. Cons plus 2.
11 plus.
All right.
I feel less
5 plus 2, so 7.
Cool.
Sweet.
Fred.
For my pact, I'm going to take Pact of the Tome,
Okay, great.
which lets me get access to 3 cantrips from any spell class, from any class.
Ooh.
Nice.
For my tome spells, I think I'm going to go with Mending, Guidance, and for a thematic flavor, Shape Water to go
Oh,
along
What
with
does that
the.
do?
For sure.
It lets me control water in like a 5-foot cube. I can move it around, freeze it, do things like that.
Very cool.
I knew I should have bought that copy of the Player's Handbook today.
That's okay. You can.
Go, Grikiki! Whoa!
Jesus
Ooh.
Christ.
Aw.
You have exactly twice my hit points.
Wait, is that your?
Okay.
Oh,
You're
jeez.
never gonna get
Oh,
hit though.
All right.
Like
I
20.
am
48.
I am
A lot
thinking.
of the stuff from. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, as for the oh, let me see. There's my hit points. Thinking twin spell and quicken spell
That's
for the
what
meta
I
magic.
picked. Twin.
Oh, man,
yeah.
you cannot beat Quicken spell. Like that is some
Oh yeah.
ridiculous.
It's so
Okay.
strong.
That's what I picked. Those exact same ones too. Quickened and twinned.
Also, personal favorite subtle spell is so fun.
Yeah, shape. Honestly, shape is not a bad idea on shipboard combat.
Yeah, minor variants on the wizard.
Ooh, I need to write down my darkness.
For your
Blasty.
consideration. Mary Catherine, what's your hit points at?
19.
Most of the Path of the Ancestral Guardian stuff is meant to make you stickier so that enemies get disadvantage on hitting anybody but you.
Ooh.
So
So very powerful if you have double the hit points of everybody else and are having resistance to all the things
Right?
because rage.
yeah.
And
So
you
trying
have
to
the
make
booming
myself
blade-
very sticky on you guys' behalf.
And you have
Awesome.
the booming blade cantrip too.
Yeah, that's why I took it.
Nice.
It's because if people try and move away from me after I hit them with that, they take damage.
Yeah, that booming blade.
Yeah.
And I got a pike which has 10-foot reach, which means they get attacks of opportunity at 10 feet instead of 5 feet if they move
Nice.
out of my
Ooh,
range.
fun.
Wow.
Very cool.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off, you guys. Why don't you finish leveling up? If everybody would send me your character sheets, updated character sheets when you are done, I would appreciate that. And then next game, we will go try to deal with these amateur pirates with our new spiffy ship. That's like
Amateur
Yay.
adventurers meet amateur pirates.
Let's be thinking about what we're gonna name the ship too.
Yep, you gotta come up with a ship
Oh.
name.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, I didn't even think about
I
that.
meant
Oh,
to
boy.
bring that up earlier.
Hmm.
I mean, we don't have to. We can take until next session to decide.
There you go. Yep.
But
Now, do we want badass or do we want funny? Is going to be the main question.
I'm voting. I'm leaning towards.
Have you
badass.
met us?
Yeah. So, Mr. Snuggles.
So funny. So thanks. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.